your name?
My name's Darci Lynne.
Who's that?
My name's Petunia.
Is it a bunny?
Yeah.
A fresh spotlight shines on the heart-wrenching story of Darci Lynne Farmer, the young ventriloquist from America's Got Talent. Since winning in 2017 at only 12, whispers suggest she's stepping back from the glittering stage that once embraced her. These hints hint at hidden struggles behind her bright, public smiles. As the curtain pulls back further, what unknown challenges has she faced since her rapid ascent to fame? Join us to discover the deep secrets behind the young performer's sudden shift away from the limelight, overcoming shyness and winning America's heart. So where is Darci now, and what has she been up to since her big win? Let's take a look at her journey and what could be next for this talented performer. She grew up in Oklahoma with her parents and 3 brothers, Nick, Dalton, and Nate. She went to Deer Creek Middle School in Edmond, living a quiet life before fame found her. What might surprise you is that she was a very shy kid. It's hard to believe given her later success, but she once struggled to even talk to other people. As we look closer into her life, her favorite puppet, Oliver, has mysteriously gone missing. This raises a big question. What happened to Oliver, and how will she perform without him? The search for Oliver is not just a challenge for her next shows, but also a big test of her strength. In an interview with the Tampa Bay Times, she shared how difficult it was for her to interact with others. She said, "I'd hide behind my mom. I couldn't even look people in the eye." But with the support of her parents, she started entering talent shows when she was just 6 years old. These early experiences helped her slowly come out of her shell. She started with gymnastics and singing Broadway songs at beauty pageants, quickly winning first place in many of them. By the time she was 8, she was already competing in state and national Cinderella pageants. The real turning point came when she saw a ventriloquist perform at the International Cinderella pageant. She was fascinated by the art of ventriloquism and thought it might help her with her shyness. Her mom, Misty, saw her as more of a singer at first and wasn't sure about adding ventriloquism to her already busy life of school and gymnastics. But she didn't give up. For her 10th birthday, she convinced her parents to get her a ventriloquist puppet. Even with the puppet, she had to spend countless hours practicing. She would stand in front of the mirror working on making her puppet speak without moving her own lips. She even taught herself how to yodel while keeping her lips still. All that effort paid off when she won first place at Edmond's Got Talent, beating adults and taking home a $300 prize. This performance caught the eye of professional ventriloquist Gary Owen, who was so impressed that he offered to coach her and eventually became her manager. This was the start of her rise to fame. With the help of her mentor, she achieved success in Oklahoma's Got Talent competition and earned the title of Entertainer of the Year at America's Kids in Branson, Missouri. In 2016, she made her first appearance on national TV on Little Big Shots, hosted by Steve Harvey. At the International Ventriloquist Convention, she made history as the youngest performer ever featured in an evening show. She was no longer the shy girl hiding behind her mom. She was on her way to becoming a star. When she heard about the auditions for America's Got Talent in Austin, Texas, she knew she had to take the opportunity. At just 12 years old, she stepped on stage with her puppets, Oscar the Mouse and Petunia the Bunny. Her determination was clear, and she convinced her parents to support her, even though it meant missing the first day of 7th grade. During the audition, she performed with Petunia, her rabbit puppet, singing George Gershwin's Summertime. The audience and judges were amazed, giving her a standing ovation. Even Simon Cowell, known for being tough, was impressed. Judge Mel B from the Spice Girls was so moved that she hit the golden buzzer, sending her straight to the quarterfinals. Her audition quickly became a sensation on the internet, breaking records for America's Got Talent. After the golden buzzer, she delivered another stunning performance in the live shows. This time, she sang Who's Loving You with her mouse puppet, Oscar, earning yet another standing ovation from the judges, including Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Mel B, and Howie Mandel. Heidi Klum even said, "Most people can't sing with their mouths open, and you sing beautifully with your mouth shut." Her growing popularity pushed her and fellow contestant Angelica Hale into the semifinals. Here she introduced a new puppet, Edna Doorknocker, a lively character who instantly won the audience's hearts. In a truly memorable moment, she took the stage with her puppet Edna, charming the judges, especially Simon Cowell, with Edna's playful personality. The way she brought her puppets to life, showing off different emotions and characters, left the judges and the entire audience in awe. As the competition reached the final 10, the pressure was intense. She was up against some amazing performers, including the funny preacher Lawson, the dog act duo Sarah and Hero, the creative dancers Diavolo and Light Balance, and singers like Chase Goring, Mandy Harvey, Evie Claire, Keiichi Okuchi, and Angelica Hale. The competition was fierce, and everyone knew the stakes were high. For her big performance, she chose the song With a Little Help from My Friends, bringing her puppets, Petunia and Oscar, on stage. The combination of humor and talent in her act was truly heartwarming, captivating everyone from the judges to the audience. Even Simon Cowell was so impressed that he predicted she would win, and he was right. But this wasn't the most exciting part. During the finale, Tyra Banks, the host of the show, revealed that an incredible 52 million votes had been cast, setting a new record. These votes pushed her into the final 5, beating out Preacher Lawson. Then came a special moment. She performed a duet of Anything You Can Do with Terry Fator, the first ventriloquist to win the show back in 2007. Although she had a brief slip-up at the beginning, she quickly recovered, delivering an amazing and fun performance. As we close this chapter on her early triumphs, the stage is set for her next grand performance. Darci's historic win on America's Got Talent. The tension built up as Darci stood next to Angelica Hale, waiting for the final results. When Tyra Banks announced her as the winner, it was clear that this was more than just winning a talent show. NBC confirmed that she had received the highest number of finale votes in the show's history. But this wasn't the end. Her win was historic in many ways. She became the third ventriloquist, the third female, and the third child to ever win America's Got Talent. Her victory also had a huge impact on the show, increasing its viewership by 14% in the next season, with an average of 15.7 million people tuning in to watch. After winning $1 million, she was excited to give back to her community. She announced that part of her winnings would go to her church, which was known for helping fund missions and other good causes. On a personal note, she also planned to get something special for her mom, a new dishwasher her mom had wanted for a long time. Of course, she didn't forget about herself. She finally bought the pug she had been dreaming of. Since winning, her career has skyrocketed, and by 2024, her estimated net worth is between $8 and $10 million. A huge accomplishment for someone who once just wanted to overcome her shyness. But this wasn't the toughest part. Despite her growing fame, she tried to keep her life as normal as possible. In one interview, she even compared herself to a real-life Hannah Montana, juggling her life as a rising star with being an everyday kid. After her win, she went back to public school and returned to 8th grade. She admitted it was strange, but she was determined not to leave her hometown or change her life too much. She wanted to stay in public school, avoiding homeschooling, and keep her life as close to normal as she could. But as her career took off, she realized she needed to make some changes, like starting homeschooling to better manage her schoolwork and professional demands. This shift allowed her to focus both on her education and her growing career. But this wasn't the end of the challenges. After her big win, she faced the tricky task of handling her newfound fame while trying to live a regular life. Impressively, she managed to stay grounded. Even when she switched to homeschooling to keep up with her schedule, her friends, family, and classmates continued treating her just like they always had. It helped her stay balanced during such a whirlwind time in her life. Even when her fame became obvious, the people closest to her made sure her life stayed normal. For her, it was important to keep a balance between her rising fame and her everyday life. Right after winning America's Got Talent, AGT, she quickly became a well-known figure. One of her first big appearances was on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. She also appeared in a Halloween special by Jeff Dunham called The Haunted House on Dunham Hill. In this special, she explored a spooky house with her puppets, meeting Jeff's famous characters like Walter and Ahmed while trick-or-treating. But that was just the start. She also performed again with Terry Fator at the Tulsa Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Terry, who was the second winner of AGT, had performed with her during her AGT finale. Now they were back on stage together for another unforgettable show. She also returned to Little Big Shots, the TV show where she made her first national appearance. She shared how excited she was to meet Steve Harvey again and how important the show was in launching her career. Instead of settling for a long stay in Las Vegas, she decided to go on a national tour. At 13, she and her family felt a tour was a better option. What was supposed to be a short 5-show tour in 2018, called Darci Lynne and Friends Live, grew into 52 shows because of the huge demand for tickets. The tour lasted until January 2019. She also added 9 special holiday shows called Rocking Around the Christmas Tree with Darci Lynne and Friends, which attracted a lot of attention, especially from kids who wanted to learn ventriloquism. But this wasn't the hardest part. At her shows, she met many children who brought their own puppets, excited to show how she had inspired them to try ventriloquism. Before her Christmas tour, she had the chance to perform in Pentatonic's annual Christmas special. Being a big fan of the Grammy-winning group, she brought out her puppet Petunia for a funny segment where Petunia pretended not to know who Pentatonics was. This led to a playful interaction that ended with a hilarious version of "Oh Christmas Tree" meant for Easter, leaving the audience laughing. That special included performances from big stars like Jay Leno, Jennifer Hudson, Howie Mandel, Brett Eldredge, and even Kermit the Frog. It also gave her the chance to have her own holiday TV special called Darci Lynne, My Hometown Christmas. Filmed in her home church, the special featured guests like Pentatonics, country singers Toby Keith and Hunter Hayes, and violinist Lindsey Sterling, another AGT star. This show highlighted her amazing journey from a talent show winner to a beloved national entertainer, continuing to capture hearts with her talent and charm. The holiday special was a wonderful experience for her, giving her the chance to combine her love of performing with her excitement for the festive season. Traveling across the country and starring in her own TV special was a big step in her career after winning America's Got Talent, and this was only the beginning for her. She was quickly becoming known as a talented young ventriloquist, singer, and entertainer. In one of her specials, she even welcomed the very talented Kristen Chenoweth. For this show, she did something different. She sang solo without her puppets, which was something she hoped to do more in the future. She assured her fans that she wasn't leaving ventriloquism behind, but was excited to explore singing, creating music, and taking on more TV opportunities. As the curtain closed on this triumphant chapter, another awaited with new adventures. Darci's exciting career from panelist to performer. Darci also explored new roles when she became a panelist on Nickelodeon's Unfiltered. In this show, she worked with Gabrielle Navet-Green from All That to guess the hidden identities of celebrities. It was like a mix of The Masked Singer and What's My Line, with the celebrities' faces covered and their voices changed, making the guessing game even more fun. Her sharp thinking and lively personality made her a great fit for the show. She returned to the America's Got Talent stage several times after her big win. One of her standout performances was during the AGT Champion season, where she and her puppet Oscar performed songs by Tina Turner, like Proud Mary and Nutbush City Limits. Even though she got a standing ovation from the judges, she didn't move on right away and lost to Christina Ramos. But this wasn't the end of the road for her. She was invited back as a wildcard contestant, along with John Dorenbos, a former NFL player turned magician. In the finals, she bravely chose to perform opera, which was a challenging yet exciting experience for her. She ended up finishing second to Shin Lim, but she left a lasting impression on everyone. Even though she was very successful, she sometimes struggled with stage fright. This was especially true during her Champions audition, which she felt was more nerve-wracking than her first try on the show. But her wildcard chance gave her the opportunity to try again. For her final performance, she brought back her puppet Petunia, who played a big part in her winning season 12 of the show. She always said that Petunia's strong, diva-like personality helped her find the confidence she needed to shine on stage. She always had a special way of grabbing the attention of her fans. In the year 2020, she made an exciting return to America's Got Talent as a guest and introduced a new puppet named Ivan. No one had seen Ivan before, so it was a big surprise when she performed a rap through him, all while using an Australian accent. What made it even more impressive was that she kept her lips perfectly still the whole time. Both the audience and the judges were amazed, which showed just how talented she really is. A year later, she appeared on America's Got Talent again, this time with Oscar, a puppet she had used many times before. Oscar had the crowd laughing as he joked about his messy love life, especially his wild relationship with a squirrel named Samantha. Following her advice to let the good times roll, Oscar sang a lively version of a classic song by Louis Jordan and the Timpani Five. As expected, the performance ended with the crowd cheering and giving her a standing ovation. In the year 2022, she tried something new by taking on her first acting role in a musical drama called A Cowgirl Song. In the movie, she played Brooke, a rodeo rider trying to make a comeback after a serious accident. She acted alongside Cheryl Ladd, a well-known Hollywood actress who played her grandmother, and Savannah Lee Mae, who played her sister and was an aspiring country singer. She and Savannah became close during the filming, with Savannah helping her whenever she had questions. What drew her to this film was its strong connection to music. She even helped co-write a song for the movie called Just Breathe. This song played an important part in one of the emotional scenes, and later she made a music video for it. This experience showed how much she had grown as a performer, trying new things but still staying true to her roots. Even though she was exploring acting and music, her love for ventriloquism hadn't faded. After more than 8 years of doing it, she still had a deep passion for the art, but it was clear she had many talents beyond puppeteering. As she kept exploring new creative paths, it became obvious that she was not just a puppeteer anymore. With many exciting opportunities ahead, she was proving herself to be a talented artist in many different ways. While she still loved ventriloquism, she had also developed a deep passion for acting and writing songs. Recently, she even started learning to play the guitar, adding yet another skill to her growing list. She shared her excitement with her followers on social media, posting a picture of herself playing the guitar and celebrating how much fun she had that evening. On her social media, she gives fans a look into her life as a remarkable teenager. With almost 5 million followers on TikTok, her fans get to see what goes on behind the scenes at her band rehearsals and performances. Over time, she has shown that she's much more than a ventriloquist. She's a true entertainer. She skillfully mixes different kinds of music with her puppetry, creating shows that are full of energy. When she performs with her popular puppet Petunia, the crowd is always left wanting more. Her fans especially love her live shows, where they get to see her exciting blend of rock and roll, ventriloquism, and music. Right now, she is at a key point in her career. Like many young stars who first became famous for one unique talent, she faces the challenge of keeping up with what people want to see next. Even though she's not planning to give up ventriloquism, she's also really excited about trying new things like acting and songwriting. Some people worry about whether she can be as successful in acting and songwriting as she's been with ventriloquism. However, looking at her past, it's clear that she doesn't just learn new skills. She masters them. She went from being a shy kid to winning one of the biggest shows on television, proving she can exceed expectations. With her determination and ability to adapt, it's exciting to think about what she'll do next as she takes on these new challenges. Thanks for watching. What happened to Oliver? And is Darci ready to face the stage without her favorite puppet? Let us know, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.